Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Thursday, August 15th, 11 p.m. Mountain Time 2019. Plastics found in Rocky Mountain rain, Arctic and Alps snow. We reported on this months ago. It's disgusting. Snow coming to the Four Corners region in August. Keep calm. It's boom time. Now, you're looking at one of the, it's amazing. This is the award-winning photograph of the year for weather. Gorgeous, with a lightning bolt in a town somewhere near maybe Crete. Could be. It's anybody's guess. What the hail? Colorado sets state record for biggest hailstone. We reported on this yesterday. 4.83 inches in diameter. Falling near Bethune, Colorado on Tuesday. The largest hailstone reported in the state. Pales in comparison to 10, 11-inch stones down in the southwest. But I digress. That's not why we're here. Long-duration hail event damages crops in southern lower peninsula of Michigan. It's in. Whopping 18 inches of hail accumulates in Michigan. 18 inches! Yeah, after record-breaking hailstones fell from the skies over Colorado earlier this week, a powerful thunderstorm unleashed significant amounts of hail in Michigan on Wednesday. In this case, top knot was buried. Yeah. It was the accumulation of hail, not the masses of individual stones that smoked my bones. Look at that. That's like 18 inches there. And that's like some guy's car. So there's none here. It could be fraudulent. It could be. But why isn't this loading? Damn it. I hate it when a plan doesn't come together. 18 inches of hail in Michigan. NAFTAL reports that several soy and corn crops were damaged by the onslaught of the 18 inches of hail. This guy's touching his head. Anyway, we'll get back to it. God, I wish it worked. U.S. scientists confirmed July was the hottest month ever recorded, and this baldy is like rubbing his head. Last month was the 43rd consecutive July above the mini ice age average. Oh my God. Meh. And not only that, this graph here is such a sharp graph. Global land and ocean, which means nothing. It means scientists can add ocean top temperatures that are obviously sweltering in the summer to make anything they can imagine. Oh God. July 2019 was not the warmest on record. This is coming from Roy Spencer, PhD. Now, July 2019 was probably the fourth warmest of the last 41 years, which makes sense because we're coming out of a grand solar minimum, a mini ice age, to say the least. And as we've risen out of that in the modern epoch, data sets need to start being used for monitoring of the global surface temperatures. And unfortunately, we're seeing news reports from CNN, BBC, and Reuters that July 2019 was the hottest month on record. One would think that the very best data would be used to make these assessments, but unfortunately, it's a sharticle. And we're going to get to that. We're going to get to some graphs. Look at how cold it was. Look at the blues. Are you with me? Now, the UAH lower tropospheric temperature measurements had July 2019 as the third warmest behind 1998 and 2016 at 0.38 C above normal. The people that are actually reporting on this don't know that there are multiple sets of data. And the main limitation with the analysis of the data sets is that most only go back to 79. And we know that 34 and earlier are significantly different. Since people who monitor global temperature trends want data as far back as possible, when they're talking about global warming, they start in the 80s, unfortunately. But data goes back to the 1880s. And no one's really checking the data except Roy Spencer and other paleoclimatologists like myself. As the mainstream media reports on record-challenging heat to surge repeatedly baking the southwestern U.S., we're going to delve into the facts. Are you following us? Now, if you look at AccuWeather, a lack of moisture associated with the North American monsoon will continue to play a role in surges of above average and record-challenging temperatures in the southwest U.S. Now, the problem I have with this is that we've gotten like 16 inches of rain, an entire year of rain in the last 6 weeks where I live. So south of here, they might be dry, but we got the rain. Trust me. And excessive heat in the west, severe thunderstorms over central and northern plains. The heat wave is unprecedented. As global warming overtakes the world, all these pink areas are going to burn up. And now what they're showing you is areas in the southwest desert and the lower valleys of California, which are typically around the 100-degree mark at this time of year. Excessive heat remains in place today and should hold on to Friday. From the desert southwest into California's Central Valley, excessive heat warnings and heat advisories are in place. Severe thunderstorms with large hail and damaging winds are forecast across portions of the central and northern plains. It's insane. Now, I'm going to bring you over here to the graphical analysis of what is the heat wave. And if you look at the blue and purple, these are extreme cold temperature anomalies. And we're going to be looking at August 31st. Yeah. 66.6% of the country record cold temperatures forecast for the end of August. But that's not what I want to bring your attention to today. Let's look at it. And let's walk yourself through it. The purple and blue regions are below normal. We're looking at temperature anomaly. So the only place that's hot is Texas. And here we are on the 13th through the 15th. And now you can see where we are today, where everyone's screaming about a heat wave. You can see that over half of the country is below normal. And it continues. Not only that, look at how cold it is here in the desert regions on the 16th. And this is significant because I want to draw your attention as we move through the forecast. Look at this cold blast coming from the Arctic into the U.S. They're only going to report on the heat here in Texas. But it is extremely anomalous. Look at Canada. And so that's the 3-day heat wave they're talking about. But then they're not going to talk about this cold wave, which completely inundates the Northeast. By the 3rd week of August, hello Michigan, we could see freeze warnings. Not only that, I noticed an explosion here on the 22nd. Do you see these cold numbers here? And I wanted to know what that meant. And that means snow. In the southwest San Juans, which might be covering other snow that has not melted yet. Not only that, there's snow up in Saskatchewan and look at that. In BC, in the mountains, in August. And I'm not only worried about the snow. Plastics found in Rocky Mountain rain, Arctic and Alps snow. It's disgusting. 2 recent studies found microplastics in remote, seemingly pristine settings. We reported on this months ago. And now they've gone into some of the most remote regions and found the same plastics. How fantastic is that? Seismic update. Some of the rarest quakes ever, crushing Esterhazy, Canada. I mean, this is unprecedented. Or is it? What's happening up on the Canadian Shield? What's happening with our Zoom? Quakes of note. 5.0 in Chile. 5.3 in Fiji. Boom time in Afghanistan. And we have some, sure, fearmongers worried about the Manhattan 4.2. But let's talk about Esterhazy. Right up on the Canadian Shield. There should be no reason why quakes are happening up there. Largest earthquakes near Esterhazy have all occurred 1988 and towards present. All of them with an increasing periodicity of larger quakes starting in, the 2000s. I have no idea why that's happening. Seismologists say not to worry about frack quakes in Saskatchewan. That's what they said in March of 2019. My trailer was starting to shake. Esterhazy, Saskatchewan resident describes 3.8 magnitude earthquake. It was shaky start to the morning for some Esterhazy, Saskatchewan residents as fracking caused their area to shake. Oh, we just erased it. Hold on. Let's reopen it. Seismologists say not to worry about fracking causing quakes in Saskatchewan. That's what they say. That's what they were paid to say. Most of the province has seen little seismic activity ever. An earthquake Monday in Sylvan Lake, Alta, has caused Alberta Energy Regulator to halt fracking in the area. When was this? March 7th, 2019. They halted it. Saskatchewan earthquakes occur most often near Esterhazy. I'm not being lazy. The largest earthquakes near Esterhazy have occurred since the late 90s, since fracking operations have entered the region. All these quakes are frack quakes. This is the new Oklahoma, folks, up in Canada. Look at this, 4.4, 2014, 4.1, 2012, 4.1, 2019. Today's quake. 3.6, 2008, 3.6, 2010. Are you picking it up? Esterhazy? We're not even being lazy. An Italian volcano turned out to be a fraud. Are you kidding me? What are you talking about? There's no evidence we can see that this was ever a volcano. To add insult to injury to science, which is a mess, researchers found that what they once thought was a volcano is just a geothermal anomaly. Worldwide volcano news update. Fuego, Popo, and others puffing as expected and normal. Popo puffing to 21,000. Karaminsk, Etna Ash emissions occurred this morning from the northeast crater, and we're waiting for some significant volcanism to follow that collapse of the caldera. Sangay API, Sambankaya to 24,000. No significant activity. We're watching it. What's this? 4.6 Tonga. Watch it. Super deep diamonds confirm ancient reservoir deep under the Earth's surface. Yeah, it's called the mantle. If you've never heard of the kimberlite, Google it. Or whatever the you use. Kimberlite, much? Climate policies help put 54 million Europeans into energy poverty. Thank you, Democrats. You can suck it. Politics, by the way, are for suckers. Those politics. Did you ever hear of shungite? That's a political normalizing mineral. Yeah, that's a rock. It might have carbon 60 in it if you have a good enough version of it, but if you don't have shungite, what do you have? U.S. farmers plant crops you won't eat in climate change fight or grand solar minimum plight. Now, if you listen to this article from Yahoo Finance, it's like blah, 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 blah. Farmers can potentially perform a service for all of us. That service is to sequester carbon and reverse climate change, said David Perry, Chief Executive Officer of Boston-based Indigo Ag, a closely held maker of microbial and digital farm technologies. We love to genetically modify your ass, said David. Like most plants, cover crops can convert carbon dioxide into organic matter within the soil through the process of photosynthesis. Indigo is offering a payback program for farmers who regularly put land under cover crops. Now, this is a new technology and use no tillage or other regenerative practices. Now, they measure the carbon content of the field these growers are now using in blippity bloppity blue. Now, according to this article, farmers are now using unprecedented permaculture techniques to sequester carbon, which may save the planet. As they spray pollutants, poisons, and oversaturate the soil with unnecessary nitrogen, phosphorus, and other things they call, chemicals. Anyway. It's the Twilight Zone. NASA detects planet killer asteroid that might hit Earth next year. NASA has detected that one of the largest known potentially hazardous asteroids will approach Earth less than a year from now. And I might not even make it to Cresta. As indicated, the NASA Asteroid Tracking Department, which is known as the douchebag setup Earth and Object Studies, has estimated the diameter of Europe at 13,500 feet. Given its size, the asteroid is longer than the National Mall in Washington, D.C. Should you care about this? Do that. I doubt it. According to CNOS, 1988 OR2 will fly past Earth April 29, 2020 at 5:56 a.m. EDT. During its approach, the asteroid will be 0.04205 AU from 3.9 million miles from the planet's center, which means it's not going to come anywhere close. But if it's pulling little babies behind its ass, Holy sh! It's like a movie. Then we'll all be in. It's going to be awesome. Holy sh! Oh my God, what's happening? Hey, have you heard about the catastrophic sea level rise that's going to inundate your ass? Yeah. If you live in like Micronesia or even Miami. Maybe you live in Australia. Yeah. Now, from what I've heard as a paleoclimatologist since the early 90s, sea level has been catastrophically rising for our whole lives. Now, here's the problem. This is since 1991, according to me, in my life. 91, 2001, and 2010, 11. What the fuck? Anyway, there are certain thermodynamic properties of the oceans which cover almost 70% of the Earth and are up to 5 miles deep that many of the global warming alarmists have yet to capitulate, and that's called thermal expansion. So if you think that the superficial water at the coast is going to rise catastrophically, you need to melt more than all of the ice on Earth to do that. Because all the ice on Earth will barely rise the oceans like 50 feet. But it's going to take thousands of years to get there because the thermal expansion coefficient in thermodynamics prevents the sea level from rising on the shores. Anyway, let's talk about some facts so that you can suck it. Do a dab.
Sydney.
Well, to the east of Australia, all the way across to the United States and South America, is the largest body of water on Earth. And the Fort Denison station has been and remains one of the most reliable tide gauging stations and sea level gauging stations in the world.
And the Bureau of Meteorology has been checking records there for more than a century, and there have been other records going back further again. Can you tell us what the records show?
Well, the Bureau of Meteorology started mean sea level records in 1914. They show the highest levels of the tides, the lowest levels of the tides, but mean sea level is the one that we need, say we wanted to calculate the volume in the oceans, or if we want to calculate if sea level is rising or falling.
But when you look at the data that you've, when you look at the data, you see 1914, then for, it's pretty high, then it stays high for, what, a couple of decades, a decade and a half. Then there's low levels for 3 decades, then higher again at the end of the century. But since then, the last couple of years, it's trended down. It's actually lower now, according to your data, than it was in 1914. What does that tell you?
Well, right now, the sea level at Sydney is about 6 centimetres lower than it was in 1914. Now, sea levels are affected by, on a day-to-day basis, by the moon rotating around the Earth.
Look, I gotta cut this shit. It's hilarious. Let me get back on here. Now, this old fart, I love him because he's being genuine, which is why a lot of you subscribe to the channel, because I'm genuine. But if you look at the Fort Denison mean sea level data points, let's go to 1914, 1.11 meters. And let's go to 2019, 1.05 meters. That shows a significant drop in sea level. While the mainstream media, especially the bomb, is perpetrating the global warming alarmist narrative that sea level is catastrophically rising, Micronesia is going to be underwater, and so on and so forth. What we actually found in those Pacific nations like Micronesia is that the water is actually rising. I mean, falling. That what they're seeing and what they're reporting on is erosional data, and actually the islands in Micronesia are building landmass. Yeah, there's more square footage. They actually have more real estate to sell and scumbag you with. But I digress. Fort Denison mean sea level temperature. Fort Denison mean sea level data points in meters in Australia clearly show 1914. Take a look. 1.11 meters. 2019, 1.05 meters. I mean, you hear the crickets? Are we on Mary Greeley's channel? I don't know. I wouldn't thumbs that video up if I tried. President Trump eyes a new real estate purchase. He calls it Greenland. Now, here's the problem. I don't think he knows this. Here, look. Let's go here. Let's look at the USGS. There it is. Holy macaroni. They're the Quakes. They're the Frack Quakes up in the Canadian Shield. Totally disgusting over in Esterhazy. It makes me want to vomit. But Trump wants to buy Greenland. So you see that gigantic thing up there? Let's come get some satellite data. Oh, let's make it sexy. Aha! Now, Greenland's not green. In fact, Iceland is green here. Greenland is ice. It's the oxymoronic historical narrative that you've been fed. But I digress. Now, what's going on here? President Trump wants to buy Greenland. And I think that he wants to buy Greenland for a few of the wrong reasons. And I want to discuss them right now. Look how big Greenland looks. Holy sh! Do you see how big that is? Now, let's look how big it is. How big is it? Holy sh! There's Greenland. Trump wants to buy it. Here's North America, right here. Now, did you know that Greenland is 1/5 of North America? Meaning the United States. North America includes Canada, but the United States is 10 million kilometers, cubic kilometers, surficial. Greenland, 2 million. Because of the Mercator projection, this continent looks gigantic, like a marshmallow puffing on the fire. I don't know if our president knows that, but you do. Portland leaders send unified message ahead of Proud Boys rally. Now, if I was a member of a group called the Proud Boys and I wasn't like a total homo, which I have nothing against because I fought for gay rights for at least 3 years in Philadelphia. I believe that all people have the right to be whatever they want to be. But the Proud Boys are some kind of a right-wing supremacist. Anyway, some gay shit there. Maybe they need a little. Anyway. Why would you want to live in Portland? First of all. Second of all, have you guys ever heard of Alex Ansary? Alex, why aren't you listening to us? Contact me. I can make you famous, bitch. God, I hate that guy. Alex Ansary. Look for him. Now let's talk about Solutions, the Crestone Energy Fair in its 4,000th year. But according to locals, only the 30th year or whatever. We will be there Saturday, Sunday. It will be the fun day. Here's the info booth. We'll have a tent somewhere around here, and we will give out free cannabis all weekend. Imagine that. And it'll be like a boom. It'll be like earth-shattering. I bet. I hope you're not epileptic. God, I hope it sucks. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance when the Charlemagne event returns. We'll make a video on that if you have no idea what I'm talking about. Crestone Energy Fair. Be there or be square. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. Thank you to our one-time donors. Hemp Lucid, our only sponsor, Eva. Now with 2,000 milligram full plant tincture extract. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you should get in the know, man. Here's a 1,500. I swear to God. And if you're coming to Crestone, it's like the carnival. The carnival. Be safe. We love you.